The All-Invitational VII.
Welcome to the next stage of destiny.
All right, hello everyone. This is the All-Invitational VII. My name is gdoggcasey, and casting with me today is going to be Detiner. How you doing today, man?
Not too bad. Really excited to see this group. It's an exciting group with lots of Protoss, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is like the most Protoss heavy group in the entire tournament. It's the no, it's not the only one with more than one, but it is the only one with 3 Protoss. So for Group A, which is the group we're casting tonight, we're going to be featuring blinkSCV, Icarus, Acadien, and Maniuplation. All obviously from Team All Inspiration, and all obviously wanting to show their best game so they can get through to the round of 16. So we're going to get started pretty quickly here. This first match is going to be between Maniuplation and Acadien. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. It's not a popular opinion, but of the mirror matchups, I actually like PvP the most.
Versus Maniuplation.
All right, here we are on KTV Ganymede once again, and in the top portion of the map, we have the blue Protoss spawning for Team All Inspiration. He is
Acadien.
And spawning in the bottom portion, we have the other Protoss spawning for Team All Inspiration. It is
Maniuplation.
all right. So kicking off with a PvP right off the bat here, Acadien versus Maniuplation. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup because I know that, excuse me, I know that Acadien isn't necessarily the biggest fan of PvP himself, but I also know that he's got some pretty solid PvP builds. As right away going with the 10 gate right off the bat here.
Yeah, I don't know much about Maniuplation, but the one thing I do know about Acadien, I have played a lot of games against him, is he plays a ton of games and he's really solid with his builds. So I'm not sure what his strong suit is. I always tend to have I almost always do the same thing when it comes to PvP. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. What are you thinking? What do you think is the best strategy to have for PvP?
I mean, the best strategy, it's really hard to pick like the best strategy, right? As we see this probe for Maniuplation being sneaky already on the top left corner of the map, this could actually get him in a little bit of trouble because of the 10 gate that Acadien is putting down here. He might actually be able to get some pressure into Maniuplation's base faster than Maniuplation could put pressure on him.
Yeah, the pylon is put down, so Maniuplation, that's actually a really early, unless it's going to be like a proxy Stargate, which I see he's only got 2 in one in the gas and 3 in the other, and the Cybercore is just about to go down now.
Yeah, it could be a Stargate. This is actually a really interesting spot for it. Oh, Acadien just missing out on that scout, I believe. I don't think he saw that, but he is looking around for something, and that's going to be kind of heartbreaking, I think, if he didn't spot that. Take a look at his view. Oh, he actually did see it. Okay, so he knows the pylon is there, and now maybe he's going to be the one who has to be put on the defensive here. So I really do think that's going to be a Stargate.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Stargate, but it's knowing that there's a proxy door, that there's a pylon out on the map already is a sure sign tell of aggression, and let's just see how Acadien is going to deal with it. He's going to drop another gateway, and he's going to have sentries coming out. Warp gate already started, whereas Warp gate has not been started. So if he's able to deflect this attack, it's actually not a Stargate, it is Twilight Council.
Yeah, so I guess that's going to be a Dark Shrine placed right beside it then. I expected it to be Sorry about that. I expected that to be a Stargate because of how close it is to the main base. That Oracle could fly in nice and quick. But a Twilight Council is going to be pretty good too. Obviously, setting yourself up for some Dark Templar later on. And we see Acadien actually just sticking to his guns here, going with the 3-gate that usually comes off of this type of 10-gate opener. But Manipulation saw the entire thing as his probe finally gets taken out and the Dark Shrine's going down.
But Acadien does have a forward pylon already. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any detection or any sort of detection. Oh, and just as I say that, the robotics facility has been dropped. So the timing is going to be pretty awkward. He's probably going to be pretty close or a little late in getting that observer out, but he might be able to put on a little bit of aggression once that warp gate finishes, because his is almost done, and Manipulations is actually right behind it.
Yeah, Manipulation, the thing with him is, though, he has got to wait for this Dark Shrine to finish, which still has quite a bit of time left in it. But this whole scout that Acadien got off is going to make his 10-gate, 3-gate pressure a little bit more awkward, like you mentioned, because he's had to drop down a robotics facility. Does look like he's going to try to warp in outside Manipulation's base, but with a mothership core with photon overcharge already ready to go here, it's going to be hard for Acadien to get through and do any damage. In fact, pretty much impossible. So we're going to be seeing those DTs morph in soon and get into Acadien's base.
Now, I'm pretty sure just if Manipulation does see that this pylon has been out here and that aggression is coming, he might actually use them defensively, the DTs, because oh no, and just as I say that, the two are just about to make their way into the main.
Yeah, they're getting in here. Acadien's trying to push up the ramp here, but he's going to get pushed back even though he's got a much higher stalker count.
That observer just popped and they're taking out oh, he needs to micro it back a little bit. He might lose a stalker here. Yep.
One stalker goes down, but more defensive weapons coming in here for Acadien, and here we go. I mean, this has been cleaned up pretty easily here from Manipulation.
Yeah, there's what's the follow-up here? We see Acadien's going to move in here. Photon overcharge isn't done yet, but he does have superior numbers, but no. And now the count has been dwindled out. We're going to see a Immortal being chrono boosted out for Manipulation, so that's going to really help against with the stalkers. But look at the Zealot count. If they're able to get on top of the Immortal, then it's pretty useless.
Yeah, I mean that could happen. Looks like Acadien could be taking a second base too. I actually really do like this this follow up because he's sort of already defended the Twilight Council and the Dark Shrine attack here. He's going to be able to just defend his third base pretty easily. But Manipulation, moving a probe in, going to be able to get that scout off and know what he's up against. And then we'll see what he tries to do to follow up here. I really don't think Acadien can do any damage with his 3-gate pressure anymore, so he's going to move his units all the way back and start taking care of this proxy up here.
Well, as it stands, he's got one. Acadien's actually in a half decent position as his natural is a lot quicker, and he's got more gateways, and the robo facilities out at about the same time. But the Immortal count is what I'm worried about, because right now it's Immortals versus Stalkers and Zealots.
Yeah, I think Acadien might be getting a little greedy here with the Forge going down, and the Templar Archives is incredibly early in this matchup, actually. I don't think Acadien even has really the gas to be able to spend anything coming out of that building. And here comes Manipulation with 2 Immortals, 4 Stalkers, a Dark Templar.
Oh, it's going to get sniped.
Yeah, the Immortal goes down for Acadien right away, and there's pretty much nothing here because Acadien's units are all on the left side of the map here, so Manipulation is just moving right into the ramp, and he's going to be doing so much damage with these Immortals. He can snipe off pylons so quickly with them.
Yeah, he's not even going to bother with the natural. He's moving in for the kill, and these unfortunately it looks like these units were A-moved for Acadien because they're attacking the pylon at the 3rd rather than coming home to defend. So here comes the pulling of the probes.
He's just trying to bring him down to the natural here, but Manipulation is doing so much damage here. Unpowering the Forge, going to unpower all the rest of the buildings in the main here. Everything has no power for Acadien. Now, he's got some units back in his natural, but he's so far behind at this point, it's going to be a crazy uphill battle for him to come back here.
Yeah, I don't think there's the GG. I didn't think he was going to come back. The supplies are 61-29, but there you have it. The first game is over with Manipulation taking map 1.
Yeah, pretty convincingly too. I think Acadien had a pretty good shot there. Like he defended the Dark Templar opening very well, actually, and I think that was really well done from Acadien. And I like the decision to move into the second base as well. But I think like with the Forge and the Templar Archives and his own Twilight Council, everything was just kind of a little bit over the top, a little bit greedy, and he ended up paying for that.
Yeah, when you drop all your tech that much and you drop that many minerals into buildings and not into defense, even after taking a natural and not seeing whether or not his opponent had taken a natural, he's really putting himself at a disadvantage in the army count. So
yeah, exactly. So that's going to set us up for game number 2. Manipulation can move on to the winner's bracket if he takes this game. We'll get this started, and we will see you on the map in a couple seconds.
Acadien versus Maniuplation.
All right, here we are on Fruitland, just to make Henry happy, says Acadien, as he chooses Fruitland for his match. We are actually going to introduce that player, the green Protoss this time in the top right corner of Fruitland. He is
Acadien.
And in the bottom right-hand portion, we have spawning as the other red Protoss, who is currently up 1-0 in this series. It is
Maniuplation.
all right. So game number 2 here. Manipulation's got to be feeling pretty comfortable after that first win. And I wonder what Acadien's going to do to mix things up here. We're already past the 10 supply mark, and he hasn't dropped that gateway yet. So looking like he's going to mix things up just a little bit. But I have a feeling it's still going to be some sort of aggression-based play.
now. I think Acadien has actually been watching the other cast because there was a little bit of chatter prior to anything really important happening, specifying that he liked this map, and I think that's because the lemons and. There's lots of talk in all the casts in regards to the lemons that if you kill them, you can get 300 minerals. And I believe only one player has done it so far. So it should be interesting to see who's going to get it.
Yeah, Mr. Lando was the only one able to actually bring the lemon resources back home with an STV. But he actually lost that game anyway, so didn't really help him out too much.
Well, while I find it's really interesting to have that aspect in there, I feel like it's only important in the early game. Like 300 minerals before the 10-minute mark is amazing, but 300 minerals late game, unless you're like down to 2 mining bases and that you can only have that, like you're desperate, then I guess that's the only time it would really be important.
Wow, Manipulation just lost a scouting probe, actually, in Acadien's base. That's a little bit of a sloppy play, I think. I don't think he really wanted to lose that. Early on in PvP, that first probe scout, I think, is so important because you need to see what the Protoss is, like what your enemy Protoss is doing after that Cyber Core goes down, and you can really adapt your play based on that.
Yeah, because depending on how the gas is spent, normally there's no real units coming out for the Protoss until that first tech building comes out. In which case it's actually a second gateway for Acadien, whereas in Manipulation space we have a Stargate coming down.
Yeah, and he's sending out another probe as well, which is just another con about losing your first probe, is now you have to send another one out there to try to get a scout. Just to touch on what you were saying about the lemon, I actually fully agree with you too. Like this lemon has 2,500 hit points. It takes a long time to kill, especially with early game units. So it's a big commitment to go and grab those early game, and then like you said, later game when 300 minerals aren't quite as important. It's not as much of a big help, but we'll see if that comes into play, and maybe we'll be proven wrong in this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at Acadien here, and I see he made a sentry, I guess for scouting purposes, and he's getting 2 more stalkers and a mothership core. But other than that, he doesn't really have any tech to dump his gas into, so it's kind of building up a little bit. We already have an oracle coming out.
Yeah, that's about halfway done here. Acadien, worth noting, he spots Manipulation's probe out on the map once again. That's got to be so annoying for Manipulation because I have a feeling, I think he's going to be following this up with, oh, well, actually, there's a forge going down, so never mind. I thought we'd see some additional gateways to sort of support the Oracle, but
a second Oracle. Wow, that's a lot of investment. And if he keeps the stalkers that are coming out, oh no, he got another sentry. Wow. Okay, so sentries and a stalker, another sentry coming out. Where? There are the stalkers. Okay.
Mothership Core and Hallucinated Phoenix spot the Oracle coming in, but the stalkers are out of position. A few probes are going to be going down here. 3 kills so far, and he's going to get out of there. And
it's not too bad, I don't think. I don't think that's the end of the world. 3 probes. If he keeps his defenses there with that second Oracle coming out, and now with Phoenix being chrono boosted out as well, there's not really many units for Manipulation right now. Like if you look, that's a lot of sentries I find right now for Acadien, but
yeah, he's playing really defensively. You can see with the Oracle coming back in, going to get a couple more pot shots off on the probes here. Was that
a force field? He tried to stop the Oracle with a force field. It didn't work though, I don't think.
No, the force fields can't fly, unfortunately. Very fortunately for us Zerg players, though. But I really like what Acadien's doing with these sentries, though, because he's obviously got that natural going down nice and early. He's going to use them defensively and also getting Hallucinated Phoenix out to scout, which he's been doing really well. So he actually saw some Phoenix already coming out of Manipulation.
Yeah. Now it looks like both players are going to go into a little bit more a macro-oriented game. This Oracle coming back, and just barely escapes. But going back to the fact that they're both going into a macro-style game, both put down their natural, where Acadien's is about a quarter of the way ahead of, or actually almost done, ahead of Manipulation. So right now I can't really see a clear favorite, although another Oracle is making its way across the map, and it's not the low health one that is just sitting right below the main right now. So
yeah, I think the second Oracle is an interesting choice here because it can come in, and a lot of the times the Protoss player won't expect the second Oracle, and it's going to catch.
Oh no! The probe transfer. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, forcing the photon overcharge as well. It should get out with its life. It's going to be a little bit close, but yeah, no real pressure put on that Oracle. And now the second one can come swinging in from the bottom half too, although defense is in position for Acadien. So I really like how Acadien's played this out so far, weathering the storm, getting some sentries to help defend, and he's splitting his stalkers up between both bases. Now it's just how's he going to follow up, Is he going to be able to get some immortals out, maybe some upgrades on his forge? We'll see.
Yeah, and there, he does snipe that one. Oh, he wastes the photon overcharge, unfortunately. So there's no energy left on the Mothership Core, but he does take out one of the Oracles. So 3 Phoenix sitting here at the bottom of the natural. Wonder if they're going to try and get in and pick off some more units. Stalkers take forever to kill Phoenix, so they're just going to pick them up. And
yeah, the crowd control is pretty real from these Phoenix here. 4 Phoenix is the magic number as the second Oracle swings in too to get off some additional harass. All these stalkers are going to go down. Acadien's going to have to bring his units in the main down to the natural if he wants to really defend against this. He's been taking a little bit of heavy losses there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, even the Oracle, which is trying to pick a fight with the stalker and is about to die, unfortunately, because he popped that photon overcharge to take out that Oracle, even though it was already dead in the main earlier, he would have had enough to pop it in the natural to try and shoo away these Phoenix. But here they come in again. And Phoenix versus Immortal is a totally one-sided affair, unfortunately, for Acadien, because they could just pick up those Immortals, and then if the stalker counts are even.
Yeah, exactly. Now, something worth noting here is Acadien has lost 14 workers already this game, but he's actually only down by 6 right now. So I think you hear a lot of, like, when people are trying to coach new players, as the Phoenix come back into the main here, going to be picking off even more probes.
Oh, wow, picking up sentries?
Yeah, that's really...
lost 2 sentries. That's a big loss, unfortunately, for Acadien. He does have the Forge N +1 is almost done. I would like to see at least 1 cannon put down, just because the constant threat of these Phoenix, at least trying to shoo them away a little bit with a cannon would be nice. Those Phoenix actually picked up a probe, but didn't kill it. So that probe is still out on the map and is probably able to put down a pylon if he wants.
Yeah, and it looks like Acadian's thinking about moving out as well. We can see a pylon queued up here. Getting ready for a little bit of an attack that's going to line up a little bit well with +1 here. Chrono boosting the gateways as well. This is going to be Acadian's chance to get some damage done, but he's actually down in army supply right now. There's, like, all these Phoenix are going to just be able to pick up pretty much everything that Acadian has.
Yeah, although they're moving across the map, and Acadian is unfortunately after Chrono. Oh, there it goes. He was supply blocked a little bit and had Chrono boost his gateway, so he was supply blocked for a little bit here. But these Phoenix are gonna look around, and I love the utility of the Phoenix, especially in PvP.
Yeah, and Manipulation's been doing a really good job putting them to use as well. Right now they're a little bit out of position, but they're going to be here in time. Photon Overcharge gets popped. The Void Ray helping out as well. Very good force fields coming out of Manipulation, and now the Phoenix show up to pick up everything that's somewhat dangerous.
Yeah.
And this attack
Anything
is
that
shut
moves
down.
is getting picked up and is going to die. Those warp-ins, they don't even get to finish. Look at that one. It still had a second before it was going to pop, and it died. That's unfortunate for Acadian, but very strong defense with the Phoenix from Manipulation, who ends up taking the game and wins the series 2-0.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a dominant showing from Manipulation, and unfortunately for Acadian, he got put up against the, I believe Manipulation is master level Protoss, so you know it's uphill right from the start. But after taking all that damage from the Phoenix in the first place, and then moving out, like I think you got to realize that when there's 4 or 5 Phoenix out on the map, you are like those are 4 or 5 of your units that are going to be picked up and not going to be effective in your your all-in attack basically. So
exactly,
that's what happened.
They're always going to be a constant threat. My fear normally in my PvP I go 3-gate Stargate as well, just because I love the utility of the Phoenix and what they can do. But throughout that game, I kind of felt like Acadian was doing fine until the Phoenix count got to that you said 4 or 5 mark, where they're just able to pick up anything and everything and just obliterate.
Yeah, definitely. So that means that Manipulation is moving on to the winners round. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with the bottom half of our group here, featuring another Protoss and a Zerg player. So looking forward to that, and we'll be back to you guys soon.
Of you and I, of you and I, the reflection of my face, so wouldn't even recognize who put me in this place. I wouldn't even recognize. Time has been so cruel. I couldn't blame me, but I blame you.
Icarus versus blinkSCV.
All right, guys, here we are for the second series of the night, back on KTV Ganymede. Let's start by introducing the blue Zerg in the top portion of the map. He is
Icarus.
And spawning in the bottom portion, we have our orange Protoss player spawning for Team All-Inspiration. He is
blinkSCV.
All right, so here we go. Series number 2. This one's going to be a ZVP featuring two players who I think are a little bit, I don't know the right word. I don't want to say underrated because I think that both players are really good players, but just not quite showcased as much as some other guys like maybe Mr. Lando or, you know, Einherjar are those players who play a lot of games out in the open. These guys, they don't really do that a lot. And in fact, I think this might only be like the second or third game I've ever casted of blinkSCV and the first one of Icarus. So,
yeah, I'm in the same position. I haven't really seen much of either player. We do know that this is a Masters versus a Diamond. Unfortunately for Icarus, he does have the league disadvantage, but this is a game StarCraft, and he is Zerg's the best race ever, or most powered race, so he could win. It's totally possible.
Actually, I think both players are the same league, although I could be wrong about that. Icarus, so dropping that gas and pool really early here. He hasn't even made an expansion yet, and blinkSCV with the probe scout is going to spot this and right away understand that something's going on here. This is totally Icarus' playstyle here. I know for at least ZVZ, but apparently for ZVP as well, as 6 links are already on the map, and Zergling speed is going to be starting soon.
Yeah, that Cybernetics core had just been dropped, and a Zealot is going to finish off this wall, and he's chrono boosting it out, so based off of the timing, because he's not chasing that probe, it's going to be pretty close, but I think that Zealot is going to make it out in time and close off that wall.
Yeah, the chrono boost really helps that out, and that early probe scout is key here, because not every Protoss is going to wall off like this, but against this style of play, that Zealot is going to be huge. Now, Icarus has pulled out a gas just for that Zergling speed, so I think in this case it might have been better if he would have left guys in gas and maybe moved into like a Baneling nest or something, because he's not really going to be able to break through here.
No. Just 6 Zerglings, unless he microed them away, but they're still dying.
Yeah, I mean, even if he kills this Zealot, which he does, and 2 links survive, and now Mothership Core is out, and they're going to shoot away the 2 links. So overall, just not really as effective as I think Icarus really wanted them to be. And he's following it up with even more lings as well. And I can't help but think that this is a bit of a waste, because the same thing's going to happen. Like now the Protoss is fully walled in, but with a Stalker coming out of the gateway, and then a Mothership Core as well hammering away. I'm not sure how you're expecting to get a lot of damage done with speedlings when you're walled out. Like this.
Yeah, and he's still not gone back into gas. A bunch more lings are making their way out, and like you said, with a complete wall off in a Stalker and Mothership Core, and 3 more gateways being dropped, I think he's gonna just counterattack with a 4-gate pressure, seeing as this probe is making his way back in and seeing, hey, there's no natural still, so it is just going to be a crap ton of speedlings just trying to force their way up, which they may actually get.
Oh, they do get in here, get on top of the Stalker. He needs to grab those other links and help take the Stalker out. He actually might do a little bit of damage here with more links following through. Photon overcharge though, but he can actually just pick away at these pylons, maybe.
Well,
but
not with the Mothership Core hammering away on them, walling himself back in again. These Zerglings are just dying futilely, unfortunately, for Icarus right now. Still no natural out. Still only on 10 drones.
Yeah, this is definitely all in here from Icarus. He's not going to be able to bust through here. And then once the warp gate research finishes, all these gateways are going to morph in, and then we're going to be seeing Zealots morphed on the other side of the map. And no matter how many speedlings you have, the Zealots are going to be pretty good against them.
Yeah, well, probe moving across the map, and I guess they're on a move command. Oh no, there he sees it. I guess he's worried about that counter pressure, but there's already 2 stalkers and 2 zealots making their way towards the base of Icarus right now. So
Yeah, that Overlord going to be going down here. That's actually going to supply block Icarus if it does die, which it probably will. And all of Icarus's lings are on the other side of the map. He's going to pull them all the way back, and he might be able to defend this initial push. But as more and more Stalkers and Zealots keep getting warped in, you need at least 2 base production as a Zerg player to defend a 4-gate like this.
yeah, this is the supply is dropping. Unfortunately, these stalkers are getting surrounded, but here comes the reinforcements, and again the stalkers are getting beat down, but zealots are strong units.
Yeah, I think out of blinkSCV, I'd like to see a focus on Zealots instead of Stalkers here against this, because like obviously all that Icarus can make are drones and lings, and the speedlings are pretty good against Stalkers, but not so much against the Zealots.
Oh, he found the pylon. So
Yeah, if he could actually kill this pylon, then things might be a little bit different, because remember, blinkSCV is completely walled in here. He can't get another probe out unless he kills this pylon here, so it's going to take a while. So Icarus is trying to like set up some sort of flank here, but the Zealots are going to be really strong, getting us around here, and he's going to focus the pylon. I don't know, he looks a little bit indecisive here, not quite sure what he should be focusing on.
no, and now with 4 zealots and 3 stalkers out, and the number of lings that are out on the map right now, there's the GG. The mothership core comes in and is hammering away,
Yeah.
and Icarus taps out.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. I think I really like the the aggressive play from Icarus, but I think you need to get more gas here if you want to actually break the Protoss down. Like, it's one thing if you want to just get speed and keep maybe the Protoss on one base and keep him contained, but expand yourself and move into the mid game. But if you're planning on busting through, then you need banelings, because otherwise, like, you can't. Like we saw there, that's what happens.
Yeah, just the Zerglings just got slaughtered, unfortunately. But there we go. We have a 1-0 lead for blinkSCV with a nice hold of that speedling attack from Icarus.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to the second map. And again, you'll never guess what it is. We'll see you there.
Icarus versus blinkSCV.
All right, here we are, game number 2 on Fruitland. And let's go ahead and introduce the blue Zerg in the top right corner of the map. He is
Icarus.
And spawning in the bottom left portion, up 1-0 in this series, it is the orange Protoss for Team All-Inspiration. It is
blinkSCV.
All right, so let's see what Icarus has in mind here. I really think that he's the type of player who likes to dictate the matchup, no matter who he's playing against. That you can tell with the early pool style. The early pool style, really forces his opponent to react to him. So we'll see if he's going to do that type of thing again, or if maybe he's going to try to play a little bit more of a macro game.
Well, we're almost at 15 supply, and no pool has been dropped yet. So it's either going to be pool or hatch first. But it looks from our Protoss player, we do have a gateway started up and a gas, so it looks like he's just going to do the same thing so far from last game. But this probe making his way across the map doesn't look like is he going in? Yeah, he is going in for a scout. Okay, and it was the pool drop first.
Yeah, pool first it's okay against a Protoss player. A lot of players will drop that pool first just by default, just to defend against any sort of cannon rush shenanigans or any sort of 2-gate pressure. Because if you go hatch first and you get 2-gated in your own base, you actually could just die.
Yeah.
So the pool is pretty safe against that. But he is going to take a natural this time, so throwing blinkSCV for a little bit of a loop. He's like, oh, okay, so there's a natural, and now he's going to go scout for a third base.
Yeah, no speedling so far. No. Oh, the gas has been taken literally just as the probe makes its way out.
Icarus is a little worried about some sort of proxy stuff coming from Blink as well, so he's going to search around with a drone. But yeah, that gas is pretty standard timing. He's going to be able to get himself some speed, but this time it's going to be that speed that you use to defend and just get some map presence with, instead of trying to bust your opponent down.
Yeah, he's got 4 in gas right now, unfortunately, but not that big of a deal. It does suck when you notice it like 5 minutes later and you realize, okay, I put them in gas 5 minutes ago. But a natural coming down from blinkSCV.
Yeah. So we're going to be moving into at least the mid game here. But just because you see a natural coming from a Protoss player doesn't necessarily mean you can just drone up for a while. As this probe is going to town on this lemon. He's already almost done 100 damage here. So by that rate, by around the 18 to 19 minute mark, I think maybe he'll almost kill this lemon.
Unless the lemon doesn't regain health or anything like that, does it? It's not a live lemon, it's a dead lemon.
Well, I don't know if it would matter either way. I don't think it regens health, though. So it has no armor. Oh, it has 3 armor. Wow, the lemon peel. It's a lot of armor. It's more armor than the probe has.
So Icarus is still in gas and speed is about 33% done, and we have a Roach Warrant down already. So looks like it's going to be some Speedling Roach play versus, what do we have coming down? We have a Forge, still 1 Gateway for blinkSCV. This Overlord right here at the bottom of the natural is seeing that there are still no probes at the natural yet. So
yeah, this actually is a really solid play coming out of Icarus here. With speed almost done, he's going to be able to defend, but he doesn't really want to lose this Overlord. Got to be really careful here because that's really going to set him back. I wonder if he's going to pull out a gas here to get that 8 roaches that a lot of Zerg players like to do against Protoss. It's an incredibly powerful build, and we'll see. But this Stargate from Blink is what he needs in order to defend against this. If he can recognize the roaches are out already, he can start building Void Rays right away. And when you're a Zerg player trying to like all in your opponent with Lings and Roaches and you bump into like 2 Void Rays, it's pretty frustrating because it's really hard to break that.
Even just 2, because then okay, I'm either going to go home and get Hydras, or I'm going to just try and do as much damage as possible with these roaches, but eventually they're all going to get cleaned up, so...
Yeah, so here we go. The Lings are moving out. Roaches following behind. Icarus is staying in gas, actually. And, oh man, Blink is like really focusing on this lemon. He's cannon rushing the lemon.
Wow, Blink wants it.
He might die because of this, though, because this Roach Ling attack is coming from Icarus.
Oh, wow. Ling's in the natural, making their way. Because the Mothership Core used Photon Overcharge, Recall, there isn't enough for Photon Overcharge. And this Oracle is trying to do as much damage to these Roaches. Unfortunately, the Roaches are not targeting high-priority targets.
Yeah, they're actually getting a little bit surrounded here, too, which is a bit of a strange situation here, but there's still a nice number of roaches. Icarus needs to keep the Speedling production up here. This is why you pull out a gas, because right now he's making roaches to reinforce, but without roach speed, they're so slow, and they can't really be effective in a fight. So you reinforce with Speedlings instead to make sure you can get there and really capitalize on your damage. But that being said, he's still doing good damage here in the natural. So far has picked off 8 probes already. But I think eventually he's going to get cleaned up here, as another Photon Overcharge is going to be good to go here soon.
Yeah, and actually another Oracle is being chrono boosted out of the Stargate instead of a Void Ray. So these units are going to get cleaned up, but they're going to do more damage than they probably if a Void Ray came out.
Alright, Pylon goes down. Both gateways are unpowered. More Lings and Roaches are coming here. As I said, the Roaches take forever, but I guess now they did show up. Icarus needs to realize he can move up into the main here and get out of this Photon Overcharge range. He's taking so much damage on his army units here that he's not going to be able to break through, I don't think.
I think he just sees blood, honestly. He knows there's not many units. He just empowered a bunch of stuff. This Photon Overcharge isn't going to last forever, but like you said, he's losing everything.
Yeah, like if he moved up into the main, I think he could have gotten a lot more damage done here. But like you said, when you get into a high intense situation like this, you tend to just kind of tunnel vision a little bit on what's around you. He does unpower all the buildings again, but this mothership core has gotten so much damage done over the whole course of this entire attack that
22 kills for the mothership core.
yeah, that's just crazy. Now a lot more Lings are coming. Once again, Lings are still streaming across the map. This isn't over yet, as more and more stalkers are going down. But I mean, blinkSCV can actually sustain this, even though he's losing a lot. He can continue to reinforce here and just do this all day.
Yeah, he can do it all day. It looks, unfortunately, it looks like a lot of the units were just rallied into the natural to just attack randomly. Where I think actually Icarus could have focused down the army units of blinkSCV a lot faster, rather than attacking pylons and then just doing the proper order of everything to take out the units that are going to kill you first, and then focus on the production. But this is really frustrating for blinkSCV, having to constantly defend.
Yeah, but he's got 4 oracles on the map now. These Lings are going to die so fast. And I think this is sort of the last hurrah here as these streaming Lings coming across the map here. I have a feeling that once this gets held... Oh, if he can pick off that pylon that's powering the Stargate, that would be something. But yeah. I think it's too little too late at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say it's over because Icarus did do a good amount of damage. He is going to get this pylon, so that Oracle isn't going to come out, and spores were dropped. That's what I was saying oh no about, because I saw I was looking back at the bases of Icarus to see what he was following this up with, and there were 4 oracles on the map and no spores.
Yeah. The lemon, oh god, the lemon has been freed here from its high armor shell, but the probe hasn't realized it could pick it up. Obviously, there's a lot going on here, and there's a little bit more important things on blinkSCV's mind, like surviving. But yeah, he has weathered the full storm of Icarus here, and he's got more workers than Icarus. He's got more tech. He's got oracles galore all over the place. 5 oracles. I personally probably would have made Void Rays, but I'm not. I mean, these oracles obviously did the job as well. And the probe.
The lemon's on the way.
It looks like he's holding it with his little arms. It's so fucking. That's so hilarious.
You know what'd be so funny is if we put so much into that, and then 2 Lings came and killed it.
That actually would be really funny. I don't know what would happen. Does he drop the lemon and then someone else can pick it up? But there we go. He's harvested it.
Spike. There we go. That should be GG right there. Game over.
He's going to get the other lemon now.
So it looks like the game has stabilized just a little bit. We have what do we have going down here for Icarus? Nothing really. Still just drone production.
Yeah, he's trying to drone up and trying to kind of macro out of this, and I think you know, he'll be able to stay alive for a little bit longer because it looks like SCV is going for +1 and trying to stabilize on 2 bases here. But if Icarus really wants to catch up, he's going to need to, first of all, be able to defend against all of these oracles, and second of all, take a 3rd base.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not Icarus is just going to, or not, sorry, Icarus, blinkSCV is just going to go balls to the wall with these oracles. Who cares about the spore? And just kill everything.
We'll see a little bit of micro going down. That spore's doing a lot of damage here, though. He's actually focusing the spore down, and I guess that's...
Wow.
Now the drones are going to melt.
Yeah.
So much damage. These double evolution chambers from Icarus are a little bit ambitious, as it's going to take forever to get +1/+1 for him at this point. So many drones going down here, and forced to evacuate once again.
Okay, so we know the magic number is 5 oracles to take out a spore without losing one. Wow, that's a lot of damage done by these oracles. There's the GG.
Yeah, it was just too much. I really think that Icarus had a good chance to win that game. Just a little bit of refinement on that build, because I'm a strong believer in the Roachling All-In. It does a lot of damage, and it's really hard for Protoss to defend against it. But a little bit more refinement from Icarus, and I think he'd be able to take that game. But unfortunately for him, that doesn't happen here. So blinkSCV is going to move on to the winners round against Maniuplation. That's going to leave Icarus versus Acadien in the losers round. We're going to go ahead and get the next matchup set up for you, which is going to be the winners round. We'll be able to see who makes it out first in this group, but we're going to take a short break before we do that, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
See you.
of you and I. The reflection of my face, so wouldn't even recognize or who put me in this place. I wouldn't even recognize. Time has been so cruel. I couldn't blame me, but I blame you. I of you and of you and of you and of you and the reflection.
Maniuplation versus blinkSCV.
All right, here we are in the winners match on KTV Ganymede. We are looking at the orange Protoss player in the top portion of the map, coming fresh off a victory against Icarus. He is
blinkSCV.
And spawning in the bottom portion of KTV Ganymede as the red Protoss for All Inspiration, it is
Maniuplation.
all right. PvP winners matchup here on KTV Ganymede. Now, something that's really interesting about both of these players is they're both master Protoss players. So first of all, we're going to get ourselves a really cool PvP series here. But second of all, both players have actually taken some time away from Protoss to learn how to play Terran. So just kind of interesting here. I think both of them are kind of wishing they could test their Terran skills against each other, but they also want a chance to win. And speaking of winning, we have a second gateway being proxied right away from blinkSCV down here in Manipulations. Natural.
wow. And we do have a probe going out for Manipulation right now to. Oh, it looks like he's gonna do. Is he gonna do his own proxy?
Oh, maybe he's going to do the same thing he did against Acadien, and if he does that, I think he's just going to lose.
Yeah. It looks like it anyways. Took the 2 gas, still hasn't scouted the gateways. The first one is about to finish up.
This is a smart move by blinkSCV too, just keeping his own probe, moving around Manipulation space to sort of just stop Manipulation from thinking that he has to leave with like another probe or something. Oh,
Now, I'm wondering how many How many zealots is he going to move in with? Because if nothing gets chrono boosted out of the gateway's done, Cyber Core goes down, and nothing is being chrono boosted out of the gateway just yet. It looks like he's going to wait for 3 and go in and just absolutely obliterate every probe in the mineral line.
We'll see. Yeah, with no zealot started for manipulation yet, this is not looking good. As the 3 zealots are out now, are they going to move in? Yep. And obviously, there's more zealots being chrono boosted out from blinkSCV. And as soon as manipulation sees this, he's going to get that sinking feeling in his chest that everyone has felt.
Surprise!
And it's just like, okay, like he can try to chrono boost out a stalker, but he does not want to be fighting zealots with probes. That's for sure.
No.
Already the zealots going to town. There's 2 more entering the base. And yeah, I mean, at this point, when you scout it so late, there is a mothership core, and that's going to put a timer on this, but I think so many probes are going to die that it's not going to matter.
Yeah, they're getting good surrounds and everything like that. They took out 1 pylon, which supply blocked manipulation, but good hold position right there by the mineral line. The mothership core is still going to hammer away. A stalker has gotten out.
Oh, if this pylon can go down, this will be huge for blinkSCV. Now that the mothership core and the stalker are out, this is a pretty good defense from manipulation so far, but he's already taken so many probe losses.
Oh no.
If that stalker goes down, it's going to be pretty hard. Yeah, there it goes.
There's just too much, unfortunately, and
there goes the game. Manipulation drops game number 1 to a well-timed 2-gate proxy coming out of blinkSCV. And that's what you do in tournament games like this, you know. And especially in game number 1, where now blinkSCV is up 1-0, and he's feeling good. He's like, okay, I got that first win just through a really cheeky cheese play, and maybe for game number 2 he'll play something a little bit more standard, or not. I guess we'll have to take a look and see.
yeah, exactly. When you get that first quick win off of something like that, now that's going to constantly be in Manipulation's mind. He's going to be worried about it. He's going to play a little bit more safe. He's going to scout around everywhere just to make sure that it's not going to happen again. And now blinkSCV can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. He's in Manipulation's mind. At least you would assume that, right? Like if it was me, he'd be in my mind for sure. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the second map, which will be no surprise to you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Manipulation versus blinkSCV.
Okay, guys, here we are, game number 2 of the winners match here on Fruitland, which should be no surprise to anybody by this point. Let's go ahead and introduce the orange Protoss player down in the bottom left corner, currently up 1-0 with some cheeky 2-gate proxies. It is
blinkSCV.
And spawning the top right portion, down 1-0 in this series. Like Casey said to that proxy 2-gate, it is the red Protoss player.
Manipulation.
All right, so here we go. Game number 2 is underway. We already see Manipulation throwing out that really early 9 probe scout just to get that information right away now, and that's the kind of thing that happens when you get 2-gated in game number 1. So you can say that Blink is getting himself a tiny economic advantage here. A lot of people would say, you know, even at the master level, that the advantage you get from this is pretty negligible because you're not really good enough to spend all the money fast enough to really take advantage of that, but we'll see.
But it also it's a good thing because you get there in time to see, okay, I'm not going to die from a 2-gate. Like it's it saves you those how many percentage games that people actually do go in with the 2 gate. He goes in and he sees that the 2 gases are taken, so he kind of has that early scouting information where he as another Protoss player, he has a rough understanding as to what he might be expected.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like in a ladder game, you can just sort of say, all right, well, if he 2 gates me, I just lose, whatever, move on to the next game. But in a tournament game like this, you really don't want to be dying to that stuff. So the early scout, I think, is worth its weight in gold that you lose when you, when you do the early scout like that.
Now look at manipulation here, down on the bottom right-hand portion of the map with this proxy pylon, and the 2 gases down. blinkSCV is in and seeing only 1 pylon, so he might be smelling something's up. So
yeah, that's true. He's got 2 in his base, and like you said, in a mirror matchup, you kind of know what to expect. And he's thinking, all right, where's your second pylon? Because I don't think you're going to supply block yourself just to hide a pylon from me. So he's out on the map and he's looking for it.
And what gets dropped? It is a Twilight Council.
So we're going to be seeing that Dark Shrine build again from Manipulation, which I think is pretty good. It depends on what blinkSCV does here. Like, I think if he tries to open into like a 3-gate or a fast expansion or something like that, the Dark Shrine will be pretty good. But if he does end up dropping like a Robo or even a Stargate with an Oracle for detection, then I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the Dark Templar opening, but hopefully Manipulation can prove me wrong here, and I'll see why it's good.
When scouted, the Dark Templar is a really, really bad opening, and when it's not scouted, you win the game. That's all there really is to it. I made it from when I first started StarCraft and I started with Protoss, I made it from silver to almost platinum with literally only making DTs for every single game.
Yeah, but this is a master level matchup, right? Where these players have been through all of that already. So we'll see. I mean, we do have the second gateway coming down, so there's no... oh, wait, no, I'm looking at manipulation space. On the other side, we have actually 2 more gateways and a Stargate here. So getting an Oracle out nice and early is going to give blinkSCV the detection he needs. The only thing that we're waiting to see is if blinkSCV sends that Oracle all the way across the map at the same time as he's getting hit in the face with DTs, in which case he could lose enough probes to make it game-ending damage.
Yeah, now is he going to... Yeah, he's chrono boosting at the Oracle. Unfortunately, he's supply blocked right now, so it's going to...
It's a waste of chrono.
Yeah, and it's going to take some time before it actually gets out. How much longer for these DTs are going to pop any time now, so...
There's no nearby pylon for Manipulation, so it's going to take a while for them to run across the map as well.
Warp Gate finishing up for Manipulation as it stands, and where... Oh, the DTs are coming all the way from that proxy, so... Incoming in about 10 seconds.
Oh, I wonder... Are these stalkers on hold position? They might be. And if they are, then the DTs aren't going to be able to make it through. Yeah, they can't get through. So losing 1 stalker to learn that there's DTs here, he's going to be able to turn that Oracle around, pop Photon Overcharge, pop Detection, and right away those DTs are getting cleaned up.
Yep. So very nice defense, nice hold position. That's actually a really good way, especially considering he's expanding. So they both expanded, but those 2 DTs are really expensive and got shut down really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And the DT tech is kind of, like you said, it's been discovered and it's not expected to do too much more damage. Now, you can kind of wait a little while and hit him again in a surprise in like a few minutes, and that could still work out, but overall, I think these Oracles are going to be better for blinkSCV than the DTs will be for Manipulation. But the threat of the DTs is forcing Blink to keep his Oracles at home instead of move across the map and be aggressive with them. So that's one thing.
Well, he can move 1 across and leave the other one because there's nothing, there's no forge, so there's not going to be any cannons. He's actually moved. It looks like he's moving out for an attack. blinkSCV or Manipulation is, and we're going to see the same thing as in the first game, except without Phoenix's, or sorry, the first series between Acadien and Manipulation, where it's going to be Stargate versus Robo.
Yeah, for sure. And this is that like DT Robo opening that I've heard so much about, but never actually really seen, except for in that match against Acadien earlier. So we got an Immortal, we have a DT, a Zealot, and a couple Stalkers that are going to try to put pressure here on blinkSCV's base, but I don't know. I mean, the oracles are going to be pretty nice. And we'll see. The scout goes off here from Blinks. He knows that an attack is coming. He's already getting into position. He's going to start warping in some units here. If he can survive until +1 attack finishes, that's going to be really good for him. And with Photon Overcharge ready to go and going to be popped right away here. There we go. Gets that popped off. And the force fields are really good, actually trapping some of those stalkers as well.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Those are really nice force fields. It looks like I would have liked it if Manipulation would have waited that extra 15 seconds or so until Blink finished, so he'd be able to snipe those oracles right away. So then the DTs could just go to town. But now that there's an oracle out, now that there's an observer out, even if he blinks forward and takes it down, those DTs are going to get shut down really quickly.
We have the second coming of the cannon rush on the huge lemon over here on the left side. That's going to take a long time to happen, and to be honest, I'm not sure if this game is going to last that long. I could be wrong about that, though, and we'll see if that works out for Blink once again.
Yeah, blinkSCV actually has a really, well, in a PvP matchup, a 20 supply lead is a big supply lead. Now, Manipulation does have Blink, so force fields are good again. Trying to pick off the Void Ray.
Yeah, the Void Ray.
But the Zealots are on top of the Immortal and just crushing it.
Yeah, once that Immortal goes down, this attack is kind of crushed here from Manipulation. Excellent defense from blinkSCV. Funny thing here, he's actually got 2 observers here and an Oracle that was spending its energy on detection. So, like, triple detection on those DTs. There's no way they're going unseen.
Exactly. The only thing I don't like is the fact that blinkSCV, while he is managing to defend really well, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, if he realized how much of a supply lead he had right now, he may just move out and win. But
yeah, he's been fully saturated for quite a while now, and he hasn't really lost any economic damage. Knowing that his opponent went for like a Twilight, Dark Shrine opening, I think he feels like he's ahead, and he's just kind of allowing his lead to sort of snowball a little bit. You can see the longer this goes on, until Manipulation gets fully saturated on his second base, the more blinkSCV is going to pull ahead.
And he's going to be literally almost a full upgrade ahead, where it's going to be +1 versus +1/1. Oh, is he going to cannon rush the second one as well? He's got another probe over here, trying to get it.
He's thinking about it. He's not prioritizing it, which is a smart move here because he wants to make sure he doesn't lose his entire army in the middle of the map. But
with Blink out, though, Manipulation does have map control, where he's able to move around and get a lot of scouting in, but the army for blinkSCV is just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Void Rays are being chrono boosted out, Immortals are being chrono boosted out, and it looks like he's just going to make his way across the map very soon and going to obliterate everything. Even with a third going down, probably the bad timing for a third to come down.
Well, I mean, I think Manipulation, because we can see everything that's going on, I think it's a smart move. I think you're right that it's just kind of bad timing, though. Like, this is how Manipulation is going to get back into the game. If he can take a third base unpunished, he'll be able to claw himself back in here. But it does look like Blink is deciding to move out, and this is unlucky timing for Manipulation.
And look real quick, there goes the lemon now. And the lemon has been taken, and he is working on the other one as well.
It's 1,000 minerals. That's going to be something that's kind of nice here in the middle of the game to help, supplement his attack here. That probe, trying to pick up that lemon. He's like scanning it, and there he goes. I will never not at least sensibly chuckle when I see a probe carrying a lemon like that. I think that's hilarious.
And Manipulation saying, "Screw it, I'm taking this lemon." Or sorry, blinkSCV saying, "I'm taking this lemon." He wanted both of them right away.
Yeah, he's taking both. He's actually got his entire army just sort of like escorting the lemon carrying probes. So far, this is blinkSCV has been #1 lemon grabber in the All-Invitational VII, and we'll see how that helps him out. Double lemon, it's so intense as he's taking a third base as well. And now this actually is kind of, leaning.
It's evened up.
Yeah, because of the really early third base from Manipulation, he's been able to pull himself a little bit further into it. But you know what, though? The funny thing is that extra 1,000 minerals is going to be mined from these two lemons is actually going to be, like, kind of negate that, I think.
Yeah, and blinkSCV double expanded, so he's going to have his third and fourth base. So nice little force moving out for Manipulation right now. Going to head towards that third, but it's cannoned up.
Yeah, this army is way too big for blinkSCV.
Yeah.
There is a Colossus here, which is nice. That time warp was a bit of a shame.
But 1, 2, 3, 4 Void Rays, like,
Yeah.
focused on the Colossus. Oh, nice revelation.
Yeah, good job. So he knows where he needs to place his army here, and he's basically just sending Manipulation back home. So yeah, I actually didn't even notice that the double expand here was happening for blinkSCV. So right away, that takes away the advantage that Manipulation had going for his third.
Yeah, now blinkSCV, I'm sure he knows that he has a lead, and he's really, really far ahead and double expanding and just total confidence and everything like that. But it's allowed Manipulation to get somewhat of an army up and running. He's able to get 3 bases, and with proper micro or with just a bad engagement, things like that, there's a possibility of losing this game. Whereas 5 minutes ago, he could have just came and crushed without any hesitation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you hesitate for that long. But again, though, because of these extra bases, he's just going to end up pulling ahead so far. Right now, the supplies are relatively close, with blinkSCV only up by about 13. But I think that's going to change here. As soon as he starts dumping his minerals into extra gateways and that type of thing. Getting his own Colossus as well.
Yeah, and just looking at the upgrades right now, we have +2, but +2/+2 for blinkSCV. So he's got 2 defensive upgrades ahead of Manipulation.
Yeah, and he's already started +3/+3 as well, both of them being chrono boosted out. And I think that's what blinkSCV is probably waiting for before he moves out. He's going to time his attack with +3. I think that's a really good idea.
Now, did he get any? I'm just looking. No, he didn't get any air upgrades for those Void Rays. So both players with Blink. Charge coming down for blinkSCV.
And here we go. I mean, Manipulation is trying to find an opening here. He wants to get some damage done, and he needs to get some damage done. So here it comes. Colossus are actually stepping in to the 4th base here, and excellent revelation here. Photon Overcharge going down, and he's forcing Manipulation into a terrible engagement. A little bit of move command going on here. He's trying to stutter step his Colossus and Archons, but there's so much stuff here for
Look at all the lasers.
Yeah, just lasers everywhere, and there's more lasers for blinkSCV, and that's going to end up demolishing every last army unit out of Manipulation. And if we don't see the GG coming right now, I think we're going to see it as soon as this army moves across the map.
Oh, those Blink Stalkers were trying to be sneaky and trying to pick something off, but that one Immortal just going to town, turn around, and clean everything up.
Retirement hype. GG calls Manipulation, and that is going to be blinkSCV moving in with a pretty dominating performance, being the first winner out of Group A, moving into Group Stage 2. That was really well played from him.
Yeah, interesting game. We got both lemons. I would say he won 3 times that game.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, he was saying that if you were able to get both lemons, you should just win the game anyway. But I think he actually managed to use that economy he got from that to push him further ahead in the game too. So you can say that that kind of ended up working out that way. But we got to say congratulations to blinkSCV. You are the first player to make it out of Group A into Group Stage 2. And that means we're going to be moving on to the losers match now. Acadien versus Icarus. And we're going to find out which player is going to be the first one knocked out of this group. But we are going to take a short break before we get into that so we can get this all set up for you. And we'll be back soon.
Icarus versus Acadien.
All right, guys, here we are back on KTV Ganymede once again, this time for another ZVP. Let's go ahead and introduce the red Zerg in the bottom half of the map. He is
Icarus.
And spawning in the top portion, spawning as our green Protoss player, it is
Acadien.
all right. So once again, back on KTV Ganymede. This time for the losers match here between Acadien and Icarus. One thing worth noting about Acadien here, I have a feeling he feels much more comfortable in this matchup as a PvZ player here. He's got a lot more builds available to him that he can pull off on Icarus here. And it's going to be interesting to see which one he goes for first. And I've casted so many Acadien games that I already think I have a hunch of what it's going to be, even just seeing the gateway go down. But I'm going to keep that to myself for now and see if I'm right.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I think I have a slight idea too, but it should be interesting. Let's see how it's going to play out. We do have nothing coming out of Icarus just yet, but he is saving up, so it looks like he's going to go for a hatch first.
Yep, and I like this play from Icarus. Hatch first is always going to be pretty safe. I mean, the Protoss player has to go out of his way to, you know, drop a pylon and a cannon and open forge first and all that thing. All that stuff is not really economic for the Protoss player. And the thing is even if you do get cannon rush, there's ways to defend it and also ways to counterattack even if you don't defend it. So basically what I'm trying to say is I like the play from both players, just avoiding the whole cannon rush in the first place and just dropping the hatch first and moving on from that whole stage, because I think it's pretty predictable what happens after that.
Yeah, still no pool coming down. We go 3 hatch before pool for Icarus, so he's being really greedy here.
Yeah, see, now that's where I have to go back on my statement and say it would have been really good if Acadien opened Forge first so he could cannon rush both of these locations and really screw Icarus over, but he's actually not doing that, and Acadien is just happy to sit back at home, and he's probably going to take a natural soon here as it looks like he's getting ready, but in fact, going for the gateway into Cybercore, he's going to find himself behind in the economic race here right off the bat. He needs to recognize this and put a little bit of pressure on. And this probe is going to scout it out, actually. So he's going to have that option available to him.
Yeah, the Overlord did go in and he did see the timing of the natural, so he does know that it's going to be 3 versus 2. So he is going to be relatively safe with his 3 hatch before pool as it stands right now.
Yeah, he's getting his gas now in his pool, and he's going to be getting Zergling speed and focusing on drones a little bit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I have a feeling that Acadien may be going for a sand gate. As we see the 2 gateways going down and the wall off, it pretty much all but confirms that. We're going to see a 4th gateway go down up here in the main, and this sand gate is going to be really good against a 3 hatch before pool. So he just needs to get a pylon placed in a good spot. Where his probe is right now, I don't really think that's a good spot.
I think it's kind of far. And as a Zerg player, when you see that a natural goes down from a Protoss, you're like, okay, he's gonna try and go 2 bases. He's gonna try and be a little bit more economic. I'm safe to drone up, and I don't really need to do much. Now, the only saving grace right here for Icarus is that he did get speed, or he is gonna get speed soon. So if this attack doesn't come shortly, he may be able to get a swell of lings in time to try and defend this.
Yeah, let's see. Did his Overlord scout? Okay, he saw the 2, shimmering orbs from Acadien's gateways as they were building. It's up to him if he clicked on them or not. This is the kind of thing where it just really depends on if you've dealt with this before. If you're a Zerg player and you scout 2 gateways on the wall, for me instantly it's like, okay, well, he's probably sand-gating me. So you got to get a Roach Warren down, which is going down for Icarus, but the Zealots are already on their way. Speed is not even close to being done yet. Because of this 3 hatch before pool, this takes a lot longer to actually get finished. And these Zealots could come in here. It's going to be up to the Queens and the drones to micro really well here to defend this.
Yeah, they're all going to...
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Up.
I like what Icarus is doing with the drones, protecting his queen, allowing his queen to do damage, although now some lings are out on the field. There's a lot of zealots here from Acadien, though, and a lot of drones not mining.
Yeah, and are they going to focus on the hatchery?
Looks like it. Speed is still very far from being finished. 5 roaches are on the way, though.
Oh, the queen is focusing down the mothership core, but it's going to get pushed back. Look at all of these zealots. Oh, nice time warp to pick off that queen. Is even more zealots are making their way into the base and just wrecking everything.
So many drones going down, 10 already so far, but now that the roaches are out, things are going to get a little bit more hairy for Acadien. He almost lost his mothership core too, but 2 queens going down, and now some stalkers are joining the fight. I've seen Acadien do this so many times, and he's in a very solid position here. He's going to be able to take out that natural, and I think he really should be moving over to that 3rd base to threaten that as well.
Yeah, he's able to pick off a roach there for free. He has a pylon literally right in the face of 2 roaches.
Yeah, he's going to want to defend that. Doesn't want to lose that pylon. And there are so many zealots. Like, this is what happens when you can just do your sand gate unimpeded here. And there comes the GG. Well played from Icarus. Not too happy with his play. I think he missed out a good scouting opportunity to find out this was happening. But on the other side of things, very well done from Acadien. I mean, it was kind of gift wrapped to him when you see the 3 hatch before pool, and you can tell he was already planning. Well, I could tell he was already planning to go for the sand gate, so it was just like, he's like, ha ha ha, this sand gate's going to work so well against your 3 hatch before pool. And as we saw, I mean, it wasn't even really close. Even though the roaches were able to come out, which usually puts a stop to that, he had already taken so much damage beforehand that it just didn't matter.
Yeah, he had critical mass for zealots, but there we have Acadien taking a 1-0 lead, and we're just about to load into the next game.
Icarus versus Acadien.
All right, here we are on a new map for once. This one's going to be Roses Never Cry. I think we've seen it once or twice so far. But let's go ahead and introduce the blue Zerg player, currently down 0-0 after getting, let's face it, he got wrecked by that sand gate. It is
Icarus.
And spawning in the top portion as the green Protoss, currently up 1-0 from that beautiful sand gate, it is
Acadien.
all right. So, do you want me to just go ahead and guess what we're going to see out of Acadien this early in the game? Because I think I know what it's going to be already.
no spoilers. Let's see how it's going to play out. I have a feeling, especially considering it's up on the high ground again. Normally, my go-to build is Forge Fast Expand, just because I feel really safe. I'm really worried about early lings, but with the gateway up on the ramp, it would show signs of aggression for me.
Well, yeah, it basically just allows you to get your tech out a little bit faster if Acadien has any sort of tech plan, like maybe a Twilight Council. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be an option. Meanwhile, on the other side here, we do see Icarus going right back to his aggressive style of play. And again, I mean, if this gets spotted by Acadien, which he hasn't sent a probe out, he might be in a little bit of trouble, but he should be dropping that Cybercore in a position where he can easily wall off with a Zealot. It just really depends on whether or not Acadien's going to make that Zealot.
Yeah, it's a complete opposite of what he did last time with the 3 hatch before pool, and now he's going with early gas and a pool. Still no natural down, but like you said, with no scout, he is chrono boosting at a Zealot. Just I guess he is worried about some speeding attack. So
It's just safe to get it, and it's really good that Acadien didn't forget that. A lot of times, you can cut corners, right? Like you can skip that zealot and you increase your build's effectiveness, but then you could just die. So really like that Acadien did not do that this time, and he's got the zealot in place.
Yeah. So the zealot is going to move out and protect this. The overlord does see it. As
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, he moved the zealot out, so that wall is not walled in.
Yeah, and what do we have? Oh, we have the Zerglings. They made their way. They're sneaky. They're making their way around a different path. And how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, this does not look good for Acadien so far.
Another zealot is
another zealot
pushing out. So
yeah, and he's actually got a robotics facility. So I was wrong in my guess. I thought that Acadien might be doing something different, but he does have other builds in his up his sleeves here.
yeah, but look what just got dropped. A Baneling nest. So it is possible to see a Baneling bust here.
Icarus is taking my advice from the past into the future, or however that works out. He's actually making that Baneling nest, learning from his future games against, I think it was blinkSCV. Yes, that you can't just get in purely with speedlings. You need Banelings to get through and take out those zealots. So we're going to be seeing that soon.
But don't lose too many. Don't lose too many Zerglings to these two zealots. The zealots are strong. And he's not gonna. Oh, okay, he is gonna kill off the one at least.
Yeah, I think he realized he had taken it so low. Yeah, he's wasting a lot of Zergling health doing this, but there's no sentries out.
Oh my goodness, he gets in.
Yeah, well, 2 Lings aren't going to do too much. He actually gets a full scout too. Sees a robotics facility. The Immortals coming out. Immortals are actually going to be absolutely not helpful at all, I don't think.
Well, versus Banelings, if he just holds the wall. Oh my goodness, look at all the swell.
Yeah, all the Lings are in the mineral line. They're getting on top of everything. Now, nice engagement from the probes, though, getting around and surrounding all the Lings, too. The Zealot comes in as well to help out. But if we take a look here, 9 probes went down already, and Icarus has an advantage in workers already. So things are not looking good for Acadien. And this Baneling nest might not even be needed.
No, see, this is exactly how I lose. When I open with a gateway, they just make a ton of Lings and just crush me.
Yeah, I think Sentry was needed. A probe scout across the map, I think, was a big thing that Acadien should have done here to see this coming. Although just going up against the the 3 hatch before pool, I don't think he expected Icarus to do this at all. And Lings getting into the mineral line once again. More Lings rounding across the map. It looks like he's going to try to make some Banelings over here.
I don't think they're needed, though.
No, but I mean, everyone likes to see Banelings crashing into a mineral line of probes. So I really hope we see that. As much as I like Acadien, I'm looking at these Banelings and I'm wanting them to do so much damage. Here we go. Oh, they all went off on the Immortal instead, but I mean, Acadien is down to 8 workers. Icarus is up to 14. Those Banelings were not very cost efficient. And a second base going down for Icarus, so he's moving into the, playing a complete game here, which I do like. You can't spend all those minerals anyway off one base, so you might as well take another hatchery.
Yeah, and this Immortal's going to get surrounded, and it just...
Oh, it wiggled away. Oh my god, it's running for its life. The Zealots are actually... the dream is dead.
Yeah.
Acadien is, he's doing his best to defend against this. These Zealots are... You never realize how slow Zealots are until you're trying to chase Speedlings around your main.
Oh, and he's trying to focus on this pylon, and he's just going to lose all of his Zerglings now, so... There's no follow-up, so it looks like after all of this, it's going to stabilize a little bit with the supplies at 24 to 18.
Yeah, Icarus has a very nice drone lead, and he's taken the second base. He's basically just spent an insane amount of his early game focus on putting Acadien in a bad position, and it's worked out. I think that he could have kept going, and he could have eventually ended the game, but this is not necessarily the wrong decision. It's not like he's going to lose because he's doing this.
Yeah, and Acadien is pulled completely out of gas because he realizes he's so far behind in workers right now that he's going to have to try and recuperate. And he's sending these 5 zealots across the map to try and do as much damage as possible. He's going to see that a natural has been taken. And Baneling's being morphed in behind the natural. But these zealots, 5 zealots versus Zerglings.
Yeah, there's enough Lings. I think the Queens are going to help out as well. But Icarus needs to actually jump on an engagement. Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say is Banelings are actually not as good as you would expect against Zealots. And we saw that right there. I think that this engagement could have gone better for Icarus if he would have been a little bit more decisive with his lings. But he's got 20
Picking
more
off
lings
this
coming.
spine's going to be good. But queens are strong unit.
Yeah, they do have enough for transfuse as well on each of them. So the spine crawler actually tanking the zealots for a little while. These lings are just ignoring the zealots. They're just running across the map. Okay, no, they're turning around. They're coming back. I think that's a better decision here. They need to get on these zealots.
The spine micro is real, though. Look at it go.
Yeah, he's just juking and jiving all over the place. Eventually, the zealots get cleaned up, and Icarus may or may not be looking for that pylon. Does he see it? He actually has spotted it on the mini-map here, but not going to go for it. I think he's just going to go for another counterattack.
Yeah, it's more zealots getting caught out, and they're not even attacking. They're just in the middle of the map.
Yeah. Lings are moving across the map. He's going to let that pylon stay here, which could be dangerous. But there's a spine crawler and a second spine crawler going down, and queens, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. And the stalker's on the wrong side of the train tracks here.
Yeah, it's going to get picked off. Zealot on hold position, though.
And this is where the banelings morph in, I think, as, 4 banelings being morphed in for Icarus. And he's going to try to bust in here. And this is what I think, should have started off the whole aggression. But with the zealot going down, he was able to just run in and able to skip that whole process. But here we go. Banelings coming up. There are drones following this up, so there's not a lot of lings here. And the zealots are out of position here. Lings are going to come in, and these banelings are going to try to get as much damage as they can. Just going right for the
zealots. Screw the zealots. Go directly for the mineral line.
Oh, they might catch him.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on. That could have been so big. That last baneling just completely derping.
Moment, and then you look, and you're like, okay, my probes are only at half health. They're fine.
Yeah, so these lings are just leaving now, and Acadien is in zealot-only mode as he continues to make zealots off of 4 gateways here. This has been a pretty entertaining game. I think Icarus has let several opportunities slip between his fingers to end the game. But at the same time, I think that he's still in a fantastic position. And all this really does is just draw the game out longer. He's making more and more spines too, getting ready for the counter all-in, basically. And we're just waiting. Zealots are slowly marching across the map here. And I don't think they're going to find any sort of engagement that they're going to enjoy here, especially now that the Roach Warren is done.
And 4 the 4 spines are just about to finish, so...
Yeah, this is not going to be good.
Look at the Roach, not the Roach, the Ling numbers. Just... The swarm is real, and still only on 1 base. He is finally fully saturated, or almost fully saturated. Still no signs of a natural anytime soon, so it's literally all or nothing.
Yeah, the banelings are going to try to get in and do a little bit of damage here. Lots of damage going down here. All the zealots getting very low on health. The speedlings, though, again, I think they could have stayed there and fought that and just reinforced with more lings. And it looks like they are going to jump on the zealots, but every time I think they're going to commit, they just don't. Icarus apparently has commitment issues.
Yeah, and Acadien has commitment issues too, where he's committing too much. I think he knows it's a losing battle, but he's just trying to put on as much pressure as possible.
It's like Acadien really wants that long-term relationship, and Icarus is like, well, like I like hanging out with you for a little bit, but like don't push it. And now Icarus is like, all right, fine, I'll take you out and get a full surround here. The roaches are supporting, and I mean, all his lings actually died there, so that wasn't quite as powerful as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, obviously it's over, but the way that Acadien has been focusing this, now the roach numbers are getting to a point where he can't handle it anymore. But he was actually taking half decent engagements prior to this big roach spell.
Yeah, definitely. Acadien really doing a good job, trying to stay alive here. But the thing is, with the lair coming through and roach speed was going to be started soon, Acadien does call the GG, and that's going to even up the series. So this is going to be our first matchup that actually goes to game number 3. So, I mean, I wonder what map it's going to be. I'm excited to find out, and we'll go ahead and get that to you soon. But yeah, that was an interesting game. Like I said before, I think Icarus had several opportunities to just end the game, but he gave Acadien a lifeline like 2 or 3 times there to stay into it. That one Baneling, which really it would have killed like 8 or 9 probes, and instead of going off on the probes, it just turned around and went off on a Zealot. I don't think that was intentional from Icarus. I think it was just a weird sort of micro
accidental error. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said, it could have been over a lot sooner. But the power of Zerg and just taking out that wall without having a forge there, and we have a 1-1 series.
All right, so that's going to get us into game number 3. Let's go ahead and get to that map. We'll see you soon.
Icarus versus Acadien.
All right, here we are, guys. Game number 3 of the losers matchup on Fruitland. Of course, we're going to see Fruitland here in this series. Let's go ahead and introduce the blue Zerg player in the top right corner of the map. He is
Icarus.
And spawning the bottom left-hand portion as the green Protoss, it is All Inspirations.
Acadien.
All right, so this is a big game here. Game number 3. Whoever loses this is out of the tournament. Whoever wins, of course, gets a chance to go up against Maniuplation in the Deciders match. So this is pretty huge. Both players definitely do not want to lose this match. And they've proven to be evenly matched up against each other.
Yeah, both coming out with, I would say, different types of fromage against each other. One with a Sandgate and one with Speedling all-in into Banelings. And just, again, whoever comes out with the best cheese wins. But it looks like Icarus is going to be a little bit safe here with the spawning pool first. And we have a gateway coming out for Acadien. So...
yeah, Acadien's been prone to doing this in this series, just getting a safe wall off on his ramp here. And it looks like there's no gas coming down from Icarus yet, so he's going to be saving up and getting that expansion here, and we're going to be moving into at least a standard opener here.
So what do you expect out of these? Do you think there's going to be some sort of cheese this game, or do you think it's going to be a little bit more macro-oriented? Oh, and I don't like the position. Oh, wait, is that in the correct position? Sorry, it looks like the gap between the Cyber Core and the wall is too big for a Zealot. You might need 2.
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you click on the Cyber Core, you can see that it does look like there actually is only room for 1 Zealot there, but we'll have to see once the Zealot pops out of that gateway. In terms of build choices, well, there's still one build that I know Acadien really likes that he hasn't done yet, so I'm maybe expecting to see that one, which does involve a Twilight Council. But in terms of Icarus here, it looks like he's doing a middle ground of the previous 2 games, where instead of the 3 hatch before pool, he's just getting the 1 natural down here. He's getting speed down, and this is a nice safe opening that I think most Zerg players will do. You can switch out the hatch first or the pool first for each other, but both of them end up sort of leading to the same area anyway.
Yeah, we have 2 Zerglings for Icarus making their way around, looking for any shenanigan pylons to see as to whether or not there's going to be any proxies. But in the meantime, we do have Acadien expanding and building his wall out as natural with 1 and 2 more gateways. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, we've already seen this this before out of Acadien, and it looks like he might be doing it again. This time, though, Icarus is going to be in a better position. He didn't get that 3rd hatch. He's got speed coming much quicker now, and he the thing that Icarus that I'd like to see out of Icarus is a couple extra lings going out and scouting the wall off. He's got them on the watchtower here, and I mean, that's a good idea too, because you can see what's coming through the middle of the map, but it's really important to see what the TOS is putting in their wall off, because that can really tell you what's going on. Now, this Overlord might be able to come see it soon enough, and then he'll get that information anyway. But it is actually going to be a Stargate, so it's not a Sand Gate. It's a 3-gate Stargate off of 2 base.
Wow. So, what do you make of this? Do you like the Stargate? Do you think it's going to be Void Rays or Oracle? Because I find Oracles, especially versus Zerg, they're a little bit more harder to handle because they automatically want to attack the Queen. Whereas Void Rays, you could A move and obliterate everything until they get Hydras out.
Yeah, I think if it was me, I would go for Void Rays, but that's just because I want the easier units to control. An Oracle could, like, it'll wreck a lot more drones than the Void Ray will, but the Void Ray will support your, your attack that you move out with. So we'll see what Acadien decides to go with here. He is following it up with a robotics facility too, so he's actually not really going like all in with this, and it is going to be an Oracle. Yep. So maybe he's just defending, and he's only going to send out the Oracle. I thought maybe he would, go into a big like 3 gateway attack with Stargate support, but maybe he's just getting the 3 gateways to help defend and going to just move those Oracles out.
Now we have some signs of aggression coming out of Icarus right now, as we have a nice swell of Speedlings and a few Roaches making their way across the map. Still hasn't been scouted yet, as he controls the watchtower, and there is really not much at home.
Yeah, see, this is the Roachling attack that you expect out of a Zerg player. He's pulled out of gas, he's got exactly 8 Roaches, and he's reinforcing with Speedlings. This is so many Speedlings here. Now, I have helped Acadien. I've played so many games with Acadien trying to help him defend this kind of thing. We'll see if he can do it. He's got the Mothership Core that he can Photon Overcharge with, but the wall breaks down, and look at how many Zerglings are in Acadien's natural right now.
Yeah, and still no Photon Overcharge.
No, at this point...
goodness, they're going to get the natural. It's too late now. There's no point in using Photon Overcharge.
Yeah, the Nexus is going to go down incredibly fast here. There are so many Zerglings just destroying everything. There is a Zealot up here that's going to stop, but with Roaches helping to kill off that Zealot, it's just...
Yeah, he's going to Chrono Boost out an Immortal now. Where did that Oracle go? Because the Oracle could be helping out. Oh, it's up at the top portion of the map. I didn't even see whether or not it got any kills, but it did force some spores. But meanwhile, the breaking of the main, and there it is.
Yeah, that Oracle did manage to get 6 kills, but this is just way too much. And this is a build that I think every Protoss has to be ready for because of just how many Zergs are doing it. Like, I remember when I was casting for CTL for a while, it was like we were seeing Roachling attack, Roachling attack, Roachling attack on Expedition Lost, like over and over and over again. And it's really something that needs to be scouted and needs to be defended from Acadien. But that is a little bit heartbreaking for him because that means he's going to be out of the tournament now, up against that build that I know he's struggled with in the past. So a little bit heartbreaking for sure, but he showed a valiant effort. He showed good games, and it was nice to cast his games. And that means we're going to be moving on to the final series of the night, which is going to be the Deciders match between Icarus and Maniuplation. And is this no, it's not a rematch. Icarus went up against blinkSCV, so a new matchup here, and I'm interested to see what happens in that set of games. But we're going to take a short break while we get that set up for you, and we'll be back with our last series of the night.
See you shortly.
Of you and I, of you and I, the reflection of my face, so wouldn't even recognize or who put me in this place. I wouldn't even recognize. Time has been so cruel. I couldn't blame me, but I blame you. of you and I. What I feel for you deep inside, it's a feeling that I can no longer hide. You're my perfect dream, oh my living nightmare. What I feel for you deep inside, it's a feeling that I can no longer hide. Perfect dream, oh my living nightmare. My living nightmare.
Icarus versus Maniuplation.
All right, guys, here we are. The decider match of Group A. This game, or this series, is going to decide who makes it to Group Stage 2 and who stays at home and watches the rest on Twitch with us. Let's go ahead and introduce the red Protoss player first in the bottom portion of KTV Ganymede for the last time of the night. It is
Maniuplation.
And spawning in the top portion, who just came off a victory and is in the decider match, spawning as the blue Zerg, it is
Icarus.
all right. The final match of the night going to be another PvZ here featuring Maniuplation and Icarus. Now, Icarus is automatically having a bit of an uphill battle going up against a Master Protoss player, only being a Diamond Leaguer himself. But, I mean, that doesn't really mean that he's just going to lose, right? We've already been over this sort of topic of conversation already, that with the cheesy builds that Icarus likes to do, he could pull off wins here against Maniuplation. Now, with the pylon on the low ground, do you think we're going
to be a gateway or a forge? Or Nexus first, yeah.
Might be a Nexus. Looks like that probe is wanting to drop a Nexus.
Looks like it's a little early, though. Normally you would pull it at around 15, 16, but I guess he's
Just wants to get it down super early. And there it goes. I really, really like the Nexus first build. And let's see if he decides to drop a Forge or a Gateway to follow it up. That's going to be our next thing that we're looking for. Meanwhile, Gas and Pool going down for Icarus. This could be... I mean, this is a good opening against the Nexus first.
Very good opening. Now it is going to be a gateway, so he's that's a considerably big wall. So he's gonna need to have a lot of buildings to be able to block off everything or everything in order for the Lings to not be able to get in. So
yeah, we'll see what he decides to do here. The thing about going with the gateway first is now, if he's just planning on skipping the Forge altogether, it means he has to wait for the gateway to finish before he drops the Cybercore. But with the probe going in there and spotting this already, he might just drop a Forge.
No, there goes the pylon to block the natural, or at least block it for as long as possible.
Icarus doesn't care about that. If he sees this, and he's just going to move across and attack, I think. Yeah, we do see the Forge going down here.
I think it's a little bit too late, though, honestly. It's with these Links making their way across the map. Oh, he's going to Chrono Boost at a Zealot. Is he going to stay in gas, though? No, he hasn't stayed at gas, so it's just going to be Speedling. So the wall is going to be completed, but with only one Zealot there.
And the Zealot gets there just in time, but not in hold position yet. Actually moves out of the way. And this actually, if this cannon goes up, then this just sort of defends this.
Exactly, and then, unfortunately, Icarus is behind.
Well, we'll have to see. This is another one of those, like, this is why I think you should stay in gas and just get a Baneling Nest if you're trying to do this, because he's making 8 Lings right now. These all could have been drones. His expansion is really late. You know, I feel like if you had a Baneling Nest going down, you could bust through here much easier. Because all these lings are going to be here, and yeah, they'll be able to kind of contain the Protoss, but this is a little bit different than previous games where, because of the opening Manipulation went for, now he's on 2 bases. So containing him on 2 bases is not, Manipulation is not too worried about this.
Yeah, and with the natural only going down now for Icarus, I would say the lead is completely in Manipulation's favor right now. He already has some probes down at the natural. He has a good economy going. We could be able to see what kind of tech he's going to go into after this. He is a little worried there, so there's another cannon going down, so he's going to have 2 cannons at his natural.
Yeah, I like that decision, though, knowing that, Icarus has so many speedlings on the map. He's probably expecting there to be a baneling nest, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think that these cannons are going to be pretty good. I'm surprised we didn't see him go for some sentries as well. But, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of an overcommitment. But actually, we do see a Roach Warren following this up. So this is another just kind of different variation of the Roachling attack that Icarus is going to try to do. But Manipulation is set up really well. Yeah.
3 cannons, Mothership Core, a bunch of Zealots. Like, these Speedlings are going to get shooed away from the natural by the Mothership Core. And without 2 base economy, he does have a few drones at the natural right now, but how many Zerglings how many Roaches is really going to be able to get out?
Yeah, exactly. Only mining off of 1 gas, and he pulled out of gas for a while too, so he's not going to be able to make as many Roaches as he really wants to. It looks like he might be trying to drone up a little bit more. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see here. The Stargates come down from Manipulation, and the Overlord is getting a nice get off actually spotting that. So we might see some spores going down for Icarus soon.
Yeah, either some spore, or now is it going to be an Oracle, or is it going to be a second Stargate too? As soon as the Overlord moves out of range, and it's going to be a Phoenix. Wow,
this could be pretty interesting. I also think that this could give Icarus a higher chance of getting some damage done early, as he's spitting out more and more Roaches here.
Yeah, because there's only so much damage that the Phoenix could do, especially if there's going to be spores in the mineral line. He's going to have to get to that nice sweet spot, but seeing as it's going to be 2 gateways, okay, so Void Ray comes out right after. I guess the first Phoenix is only to clear some Overlords or to cause him to put down spores.
Yeah, that could be it. These Void Rays are going to be much more helpful against the Roaches, and we'll see this. The Phoenix is also really good at just scouting, too. Now, there's a lot of Lings here. The Mothership Core does spot them. There's so many Lings. Again, these all could be drones, so it's really hampering Icarus's economy here. And as the Roaches are meeting up, we're going to...
He does have a supply lead, though. Look at this. There's 6 Roaches. They're going to come in. They're going to try and bust down the wall.
There's a force field. Yeah. At this point, you want to kind of split your Lings to attack different buildings. Now, the Forge goes down and gets on top of these sentries, and I think there's a little hole here, but quickly...
Oh, wow, nice warping.
Yeah, very nice warping. And now the Photon Overcharge mixed with the Void Ray just completely destroys every single Roach. And Icarus is running home with his tail between his legs, and then he's turning around, running back with his tail out of his legs, I guess, but he's just going to die here.
Yeah, 2 Void Rays. 2 Void Rays could take out quite a lot of Roaches, and I wonder if he's going to move out for the counterattack. There isn't a forward pylon, not that I can see so far.
Yeah, there's one over here on the left side, but it's kind of far away. All these Overlords are out of position here, by the way. A lot of Overlords are going to get picked off by these Phoenix and Void Rays.
Now has oh no, okay, that's a Spore Crawler. So no Hydralisk Den has gone down, no nothing. He's still only on 2 bases. He's not fully saturated, and he's just got a bunch of Roaches and Lings. Yeah. And these Void Rays are going to move in here, and they're going to take out that Spore really quickly, pick up the Queen with the Phoenixes, and the damage is getting done.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Icarus right now. Looks like he's trying to move across with these Speedlings, but all this is going to take to defend is a nice force field from Manipulation. Oh, they're trying to bust through. They're working so hard at this. But there's a force field. Meanwhile, all the damage is still getting done. And
3 cannons.
Yeah. And even so, he picks off the main and then he just recalls home.
Yeah. So what does Icarus do from this position?
I mean, I don't know. He's making Speedlings, and he's gonna just try to really just force this in.
Yeah, but with Void Rays out, like like he's got 4 queens, so 4 queens do a good job of. Oh no, and there's the GG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I really don't think there was much Icarus could have done in that situation, just because of the fact that, like, Manipulation had all the pieces there that he needed to defend against Zerglings, he needed to defend against Roaches, he even took out the main base, so the follow-up attack was going to be really small from Icarus, and overall, just expertly played from Manipulation. And it was a little bit of a wonky sort of Roachling attack from Icarus. It was really delayed to get those Roaches out, because he went with that, like, Speedling opening again. And I just really think that when you make that many Zerglings and sacrifice drones because of that, you're just automatically putting yourself behind. And without a Baneling Nest, you're just ramming up against a wall that is not going to go down. And
yeah,
I saw that.
With all those Speedlings, he had to do damage, but with the 3 cannons, it made it so it was virtually impenetrable. But here we go. We're about to load into the next match with Manipulation up 1-0.
Icarus versus Manipulation.
All right, guys, here we are for game number 2 of our Decider match. We are on Fruitland once again. Let's go ahead and introduce the red Protoss player, currently up 1-0 in the bottom left corner of the map. He is
Manipulation.
And spawning in the top right portion as the blue Zerg down 1-0, hopefully making going to extend this to 3 games. It is
Icarus.
all right. So here we go, game number 2. Now, again, like I said this in the last cast with Icarus, he really likes to sort of dictate the pace with his early play. But he's shown some variety as well, going to 3 hatch before pool, and even the standard pool first into hatch. We'll see what he decides to do here, because now his life is on the line once again. If he loses this game, he's out of the tournament, and I think he has what it takes to, to take a game from Manipulation. But I think that he needs to just refine the builds he's going for just a little bit more. But we'll see. He's going for that safe pool first on 15. Meanwhile, the Forge coming first. Forge coming first from Manipulation. There's already a probe up here hiding.
Yeah. Well, he actually dropped a pylon right at the natural, so there's going to be no expansion. This this drone's going to make his way down, and it's going to be like, oh darn it! That's the equivalent of a burrowed Ling being there, and you got to put it down, and there's something there.
He's going to cannon Icarus into his main.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised right after this cannon finishes whether or not he's going to put a gateway down there too and just contain him on one base. I've seen that before, actually. Oh, but he expands down here at on the low ground.
Yeah, and actually Manipulation, having the mindset to go look for this is really good, because I kind of like didn't even think about that already. But the problem with this for Icarus is now there's a pylon going down here. For some reason, I almost thought that said GG there. But no, he cannot spot this this pylon, so Icarus is going to have something to deal with here.
Now is he going to cancel this right away? Nidus, we have an Overlord of position at the natural.
There's a couple options, and Nidus is still it's still really far away though. He needs to get there first and all that. But Icarus is going to see these cannons, and I mean, this is the worst type of cannon.
Oh wow, it's completely walled in. Like,
yeah, and a gateway going down too. Yeah. This is commitment. Now, the thing is, the Nidus play is really good against this, and we already see the Roach Warren going down. All we need to see from Icarus is a second gas, and Ling speed.
Oh no! Okay, good, it got away, because that would have supply capped Icarus if he would have lost that Overlord right there.
Yeah, that's just the worst. Now, Manipulation, being a Master Protoss player, he needs to know what to expect as a follow-up from Icarus. Like, when you wall a Zerg in, Not only is it forcing Icarus on one base, but it's also probably pissing him off like big time. And when you're in that sort of mindset, you just think like, oh man, I just gotta kill you like right now. So we see the lair, we see the extra gas, and Anitis is really all it can be, unless he wants to bust down these pylons with roaches, which is possible, but you take a lot more losses that way, and also you have to still run all the way across the map. So,
or does he hope that there's no, or does he go mutas off one base and hopefully there's no cannons? Oh no, but he's putting cannons at his natural now. So, yeah, Nidus is the option I would say, anyways. But this contain is the contain is real.
Yeah, but it's a huge commitment though, and that's like usually
Oh my goodness,
type of thing. Oh,
we missed this. Look,
you're talking about the expansion down.
Yeah, the expand. Who would have thought? I did not see that coming.
Maybe he'll just Nidus here. But actually, Manipulation is going to scout this out.
Oh my goodness.
This is terrible news for Chris. This is not going to... He's going to cannon rush it, probably. And actually, you know, this is a nice little, like... This could be like a nice, like, cannon rush bait. Because Manipulation has put so much into cannons already that we only have the Cybercore finishing up right now. I have a feeling we're going to see the Nidus as it is down here now in the main of Icarus. There's an Overlord in the bottom left position of the main. And it looks like he's got vision on that little lip there, so I think that's where it's going to go. Either that, or it's going to go down here to defend this this second base.
Yeah, just looking at the units tab, though, we have 8 roaches, a queen, versus 4 zealots. So
yeah, this is like if this Nidus goes in a good spot, this is not going to look good for Manipulation.
Yeah. Now, where is the Overlord, and where is he going to put it?
Yes, cancel that, Icarus. That was a really good play. I really think that Icarus is on the ball here. He cancels that. He's pulled the Zealots completely out of position, and then Nidus is going to go down in the main. It's got to go down in the main here, and Manipulation is just not in position to deal with this.
No, he's completely walled off. He has a robotics facility that he just dropped, and there it is. There's the Nidus right behind the mineral line.
In the natural.
In the natural, yeah.
This is spotted by Manipulation, but
but no reaction. No reaction.
Oh, this is bad for Manipulation because he's not reacting to this. This means that the roaches are going to come out. The roaches are going to come out.
Oh, it's too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
And the lings are here as well. There's just so many roaches. And this is a bit of a misplay from Manipulation. I don't usually like to focus on the misplays here, but I mean, this is pretty much all that Icarus really could have done, right?
Yeah.
So I would have expected Manipulation to be ready for this kind of play, but no, he wasn't. So Icarus pounces on the natural, and this robotics facility is way too late.
Yeah, he gets the mothership core out, and he's going to focus down the Nidus. But I'd like to see this Overlord here just above the main. Drop another one right there at the top.
Yeah, that's definitely an option for Icarus. Now, he needs to be a little bit careful with what he's focusing with his roaches and lings. And it would be cool to see that, that Nidus go down in the main as well. Because killing off that Nidus has... you know, basically stopped reinforcements coming here from Icarus.
Yeah, okay, so what's the follow-up to this? He actually managed to keep... He actually managed to keep that drone alive story, and he re-expanded right here.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. Like, at this point, I think you should just commit fully to the one base. Now, it looks like Manipulation is taking a base over at Icarus's third. Got some Zealots in here as well. Now, Icarus has got to be careful with these roaches, though.
Oh, nicely done by the Queen. The Queen is just on a portion of the ramp where it can't... but he stopped, I guess, to inject.
To inject, yeah. And a follow-up Knight is coming through from Icarus here. He's going to be able to reinforce these roaches finally here. Focusing on the Cybercore, I really think this is not what you want to be focusing on. You want to get into the main and take out all those probes. Speedlings and roaches coming through once again.
Look at that, though. There's just so much there. Look at the supply difference. It's 61 to 36.
Oh,
nice force field.
Yeah.
Very nice force field.
And Photon Overcharge going off as well. So Icarus is going to take out this gateway in this forge, and I think still eventually he's going to win this game. I don't really know how Manipulation can come back. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's real, like, the Mothership Core is a good unit, but it takes forever to kill roaches. That sentry is gone, so he could literally just move in and he'd be fine. 4 cannons going down.
Icarus is just really indecisive with his army units here. He could get up here. Finally, the Roach is coming on up. And there's enough here to just eat this Photon Overcharge. He can actually focus the Nexus
on the main.
Yeah, and still be out of range of the cannons. Photon Overcharge does expire as well. And this is so many Roaches that this Nexus is going to go down. Now, I mean, Manipulation has a Nexus on the other side of the map still. And he's basically got a base inside the natural of Icarus. Now, there's some coming in here that have forced the drones into the Nidus network. And they're all rallying to the other base. This is hilarious. Okay, so this base on the other side of the map for Icarus actually turns out to be really helpful as he's got enough drones to fully saturate this. Nexus is sniped.
And 4 roaches get out of the Nexus and are able, or Nexus out of the Nidus, and we're able to clean up those roaches. So he's still soft contained in his main. There's nothing there, but because he has that natural, it's just like, okay, we're gonna expand to different places and continue this game on with a 26 supply difference between the two of them.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is, Manipulation has way more workers than Icarus does. He's actually just replanting down that main base here in his main, and the Roaches for Icarus are moving across the map. Now he's going to be able to clean out these cannons with this many Roaches, and if he scouts out where Manipulation's new second base is...
He's so close! No!
Yeah, he's going to focus on just breaking out here. Just focus on the pylons. I like that idea.
Yeah.
2 pylons are faster to kill than 3 cannons. If you focus them properly. There we go.
Yes, exactly. There we go. Now, is this game actually going to stabilize like this? Like, this has just been such an odd series of events. It looked like Icarus was just going to run away with it, but that ninja expansion up the top portion here, like, what are the odds that he's going to find it? If anything, that's going to be the last place he's going to look.
Yeah, he's dangerously close to it right now, but he's not spotting it, and he's actually moving all the way across the map. The only way that this can stabilize for Manipulation is if this goes unscouted for a long, long period of time.
Oh, wait. There we go. The 2 roaches see it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. That's a key scout from Icarus. He spots it, and now all the roaches are going to collapse on this base here, and...
No, attack the drones! Yes.
Focusing down the Nexus here, he's gonna take this out, and I don't know what Manipulation's gonna do from this point.
Yeah, he's got an Overlord in position, actually. He could just drop another Nidus. Oh no, they got rid of the Nidus network, so he'd have to build another one, but he could literally drop it in the main again.
Yeah, and Manipulation is going for a Stargate, and he's splitting his probes, or actually just pulling all his probes back home.
Nice reaction there. The Zealot got into the base here at the bottom, and he only took 1 loss here. The Queen.
Oh God.
What? Oh, I was saying it was good, but
it still turned out to be good. It was just a little bit silly looking there for a bit. Now this Stargate could pump out a Void Ray, and this Void Ray could win the game.
No. I honestly, I think it's too far. Look at how many roaches there are. Like 4 pot shots, 5 pot shots, and that Nexus is going down.
Yeah, but there is a cannon over here on the other side of the map. Yeah. Still needs to be taken out. We'll see. Icarus is waiting out the photon overcharge. See, this mothership core could be out there just hitting them.
Yeah. Oh, there's the second photon overcharge, and now it's going to be out of energy. So, I think it's all over but the crying. Honestly, like you said, if the Void Ray gets out, it's going to do some damage. But really, what can it do?
Well, I mean, there's 1 queen and another queen in the main, but there's no Hydra Den or nothing that can actually shoot up.
If 1 Void Ray could win the game for him right here, I would agree with everyone saying that Protoss is ridiculously overpowered. But like I said, there's just far too many roaches. They're going to take out this main, and there is no ninja expansion anymore. The Void Rays would eventually clean this up, but I doubt Manipulation is going to stay in the game. Oh, he does have enough for another Nexus.
Hey, he could just rebuild it and chase these roaches away. And there's a Spore Crawl going down. He's got to be careful and pick his battles with these Void Rays, but I mean, I'm not lying when I say that technically. Okay, the Hydra Den is going down. The longer Manipulation waits, once the Hydras come out, then it's going to be really over. Yeah.
Even an evolution chamber being made, but Another Void Ray. Void Rays are good units, but he's not going to be mining for a good, what? How many more seconds here?
Quite a few.
60 more seconds for another minute. So,
Yeah, this is. But he's got 3 Void Rays, and these guys snowball like really hard in power. They can start taking out roaches really fast. He even popped his ability there on one roach. All 3 of them. Just really did not like that roach. But yeah, that 7 hydras are coming out. This is going to be enough hydras to take out these 3 Void Rays.
now if he actually took, he doesn't know this, but if he took these roaches while that Nexus was being planted and just like kind of sacrificed them to kill the Nexus or cause him to cancel it, he wouldn't have enough to build another.
Yeah, that's true. And there'd be nothing to mine from.
Yeah.
So Icarus has a couple hydras in his composition now. There's a few.
Time to go.
Yeah, there's a few trying to make their way from across the map, but this is funny. These drones that were rallied to the main or something are going all the way across the map too. But yeah, Icarus needs to seize this opportunity to go and attack. But he doesn't really know where manipulation is. I guess it's not like he knows that manipulation just put this Nexus right down in natural again.
Yeah, and it looks like Icarus is actually moving Overlords over virtually every spot. There's a Ling at every base to make sure that he's not getting any ninja expands. He could totally take this fight.
Yeah, and there's the GG.
Wow, so Icarus takes a game and we are going to go into the decider match. Who would have expected it? Very nice play.
Yeah, I mean, manipulation went for like a crazy cannon rush style that eventually ended up just kind of getting countered. Like, the thing is, cannon rushes are good, but they are, like, they're huge investments. And even a 1-base Zerg can produce enough to hit you back hard. So hard that you can't defend it. Like, even if he knew a Nidus was coming, there were still so many roaches that the damage was just too much. And I think if Icarus would have like targeted his buildings a little bit more correctly, I guess, he could have won a game even earlier than that. But
yeah, the contain was good. The thing is, though, is when you do something like that and you realize that you need to go over in your head and you're like, okay, what can I lose to? Nidus being the main thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to set us up for game number 3. This one is going to be on a new map we haven't seen yet today. So let's go ahead and we'll see you there.
Icarus versus Maniuplation.
All right, here we are, guys. Game number 3 on the pattern. This map is Coalesce, says Icarus, and we are going to go ahead and introduce the red Protoss player in the top left corner. He is
Maniuplation.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand portion as the blue Zerg just winning a map to make it 1-1. This is the final decider match. It is
Icarus.
So, like we just said, this is the decider match. Who would have thought it would come to this? What a way to end it.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy game to end off the group here. The winner of this moves on to group stage number 2 to face those GMs that are awaiting. So I don't know if it's necessarily an amazing thing for these guys, but obviously they want to win and have a chance against those guys. But we'll see. I mean, Icarus has shown himself to be quite the wild card here in this series. Like, he's got builds that work really well, and then he's got builds that I don't agree with so much. This one that he's doing right here with the safe 15 pool into hatchery, I think is my favorite one that he does, because it allows them to move into the mid game and actually afford things instead of just, a bunch of speed links. So already.
Now, while this is a two-player map, the one thing I noticed is the rush distance is really, really long, it looks like. So I think he probably could have been safe for the hatch first, but like you said, there's no real difference between it. It does keep him safe, and as we can see, it looks like Manipulation realizes that the rush distance is really long and starts with a Nexus first into a gateway.
Yeah, I mean the rush distance from main to main is long, but it's not long if the two gateways still go down in your natural. So the spawning pool is nice and safe against that type of thing. Speaking of that, like look at these mains and these naturals, like how big they are and how many things can hide around here. Like I think a Protoss player, not only are they happy with this map because of all like the high ground platforms that are all over the place that just scream amazing Colossus positions, but also they can hide their tech all over the place. Like if Icarus was a Terran player, he'd have to scan like 3 times, I think, to spot the entire main.
Yeah, there's just little corners and things like that, and it's really hard. It's really easy to hide things like you said. Now we have right in plain view of the Overlord that is moving out of the way because a cannon is being made. A Sabre core coming down and a cannon. So the wall is complete for our Protoss player. Meanwhile, what do we have? We have gas coming down for our Zerg player.
Yep, just staying safe. They're going to get some guys some gas so we can get that Ling speed. And meanwhile, on manipulation side of things, everything's really standard here. He's got the double gas in the main, and we're going to see what he decides to go to. He's shown the... I lost my words there. He likes to go for Stargate. We've seen a lot of Stargate out of manipulation, so I'm kind of expecting to see that again from him. But, you know, he's got other options too, so...
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's got 3 gases so far, so we should be seeing a tech building come down relatively shortly. We just see Icarus just droning up now. He is unfortunately a little bit supply blocked right now, but that should be ending shortly as Overlord has just popped. Speed has been started. Now, what tech do you think he's going to go into here? Hopefully he's not going to... Oh, there it is right there, the Roach Warren.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing. Again, the Roach Ling all in, although he's making a lot more drones this time, so maybe it's not quite as all in.
Yeah, no Evo chamber, so he's probably just going to go with 0-0 once this speed finishes. Now, is he going to pull out a gas at 200?
Yeah, that's pretty much the next thing we're looking for. I have a feeling he probably will.
Oh, no, he jumps into lair.
Ah, okay. All right, so... yeah, that sort of supports the fact that he's continuing to drone up here. I'd expect to see a third base soon then from Icarus as the double Evo chambers are going down too. I mean, he can do like a strong 1-1-2 base all in off this, and I mean, might even see a Nidus. Like the Nidus, look at this Overlord in the bottom portion of the main over here of manipulation. He's just ready to drop a Nidus.
Well, this is a good catch by this little Zergling that's been going around. Like you said, it's so easy to hide everything everywhere, but it did manage to find one of the pylons that are out on the map, and this Overlord over here, over by what would be I think it'd be the left-hand side of the third, is literally right over another pylon. So, really good to catch that out.
Yeah, does he see that? He can see one of the pylons. There's a second pylon underneath, just out of vision of that Overlord. But that's a pretty lucky spot there for Icarus. And he might spot, sentries being warped in and that type of thing. So Roach speed starts up.
Now, is this Overlord in a position where the sentries can't see it?
Yeah, if you look at the vision of manipulation, he can't spot it because it's over that platform there. But the Roach is going to move out to try to take out these pylons, and manipulation is just going to run his sentries away. Not going to try to fight a battle that he won't win.
Well, that was a really good job by Icarus. Now let's see what he does to follow it up. Unfortunately, nice job by the Overlord to move and see that there is a second pylon there, because it's like, wait a minute, I didn't see anything warp in from this one. There's got to be a second one.
Yeah. Now, +1 attack coming through here for +2 attacks, coming through. And we got Blink coming through as well for manipulation. Still on 2 bases, so with a lot of extra gateways going down, this is basically just going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gate +2 Blink Stalker attack. And this can be so frustrating to deal with as a Zerg player. Even if you have Roaches on the map already, this may not end well. Now Burrow's coming through, and that's kind of an interesting play. But I
And
think he's
roach
gonna need
speed
more
is
than
almost
that.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I mean, he's going to need to recognize this and go into full unit production mode. If he gets caught trying to drone up this third, which this Roach just spotted a large manipulation army over here on the left, should prompt him to not make any more drones, and he should just stick to Roaches.
Yeah, but like a Blink is just a really powerful spell, and especially when it's just against roaches. I'd like to see some, because he did get some speedlings out here, because those would be half decent to force out Blinks. Nice force fields there.
Yeah, Force Field starting off this engagement pretty well for Manipulation. +2 is not quite finished yet, but once it is, these Stalkers are going to be hitting so much harder. Zealots moving up the ramp to tank the first initial shots and allow the Stalkers to fire away. Nice time warp there to back up. Right now, Icarus has enough to deal with this, and he's spitting out 18 more Lings, a bunch more Roaches, and getting +2 as well. These upgrades might be a little bit ambitious. He doesn't have a lot of gas to make enough Roaches. If I were Icarus, I'd cancel these upgrades and spit out some more Roaches, but
I don't like the fact that that Manipulation though was attacking before his +2 finished and his Blink, but his Blink did just finish now, so this engagement can go a heck of a lot more different now.
yeah, and these Zealots have +2 as well, so they're just going to destroy these Zerglings. Now, there's a nice flank here from Icarus, and the Blinks are doing pretty good. Mothership Core not time warping or anything, and actually, this is getting cleaned up. There's a time warp, but yeah, Manipulation's going to have to blink on out of here, or is he, I don't know, is he going to be able to finish this off? A big warping coming in.
And we don't have any. Oh, we have 6 more Roaches in production, but they're just going to get picked off. I think there's too many Stalkers. Blink is just so strong.
Wow, this was it was actually really close. For a second there, I thought Icarus was easily going to defend this. If he can spot this pylon and take that out and cut off reinforcements, that'd be really helpful. But for some reason, the production is just not there. He's lost his queen in his net, or he's just come over and injected at the third base, probably.
Oh, he got one pot shot off at that pylon, but nothing more. So now he's literally sitting on what, like 15 roach? Here, let me just check the units tab. Sitting on 14 roaches versus 17 Stalkers with Blink. This third is going to go down, and good Blinks from Manipulation, like really not taking any damage. Good Burrow though.
Yeah, but there's not enough Roaches here. +2 is just about to finish here for the Roaches. Are going to help them out a little bit, but yeah, this third base, there's no saving it at this point. Whenever Manipulation decides to, he can just pick it off. And there it goes. So even now, if he just were to back out, I mean, he's come away victorious.
Yeah, he's done what he needed to do. Blink versus Burrow. I think the Burrow micro would be a little bit harder because you need to click on like the injured. Well, I think it'd be pretty much the same, but you could mass blink certain things. So
yeah, and Tunneling Cloud's coming through here for Icarus as well. Huge blink onto the retreating Roaches here. And, I mean, one of the pylons was taken out, but there's still another one. And Overlords just keep getting picked off. Both players are actually supply blocked here. And this is like, I mean, this is one of those games that is, as a Zerg player, it's so frustrating because you feel like you're doing everything you can to defend, but it just feels like a hopeless battle sometimes. And here come the Roaches are getting on top of these Stalkers, trying to go for that final engagement to wipe everything out, but there's just too many Stalkers. The Mothership Core helping out as well. A huge time warp going down. Stalkers blinking. Roaches burrowing.
good Blinks though. Good Blinks. So
Yeah.
it's just too much. When you don't do any true damage to the Stalkers and they're able to blink back, they're trading so well that you can't do anything, and unfortunately for Icarus, it looks like he's going to tap out.
Yeah, there goes the GG. Well played, and good luck coming out of Icarus. One thing that has been consistent through this entire group is Icarus well-mannered throughout every single series. He's taken his losses well, and he had a chance to defend that, but the +2 Blink Stalker is just a little bit too strong, and they end up forcing their way through, pick off the third, and eventually pick off Icarus himself. So, Manipulation going through in second place from Group A. Unfortunately, Chris dropping that, and he's not going to be able to continue on in this tournament. So that means that blinkSCV finishes first place without even dropping one map, and beating Manipulation in the process, where Manipulation comes in second, And those are our 2 Protoss players making it out of Group A.
And we unfortunately have to say goodbye to Icarus and Acadien, but all the players played really good games, and it was a lot of fun casting them. I'm looking forward to following up the next groups and seeing the group stages for the next round as Maniuplation and blinkSCV have made their way to victory.
Yeah, and that's a good point, actually. Like, this tournament is only going to be getting better. Like, the round of 32 here, or the group stage 1, I guess you can call it, has a lot of good players, but the group stage 2 has our best players waiting for these guys who are advancing one by one. And once we get into group stage 2, that's when the games are going to really start meaning a lot to these players. So I'm really looking forward to that. We only have 2 more groups left to go through, and we don't have any set dates on when those are going to be casted yet, but Harlock is going to be trying to set that up with some casters, and we'll definitely be getting those casted for you. But yeah, I mean, that was a really exciting group. Luckily, no walkovers at all. We got to cast every single series. A lot of good games there, lots of Protoss stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's basically all I have to say about that.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for watching. It was a lot of fun casting it, and hopefully we look forward to the next group. And everybody else playing, good luck in your future matches and practice hard.
Yeah, and one more thing, actually, last thing to say, we got to say a huge thank you to Harlock for setting this all up. I know he's put tons of time into this, setting up all these amazing screen effects that you're seeing, and it just looks really, really cool. So huge thanks to him. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next cast. I'm not sure who's going to be casting it, but we'll see you then anyway.
Cheers.
The device has been modified. The device has been modified.